In wrestling, there is rarely a figure as polarizing as WWE COO Triple H. Throughout his wrestling career, the game was blamed by various wrestlers and staff of politicking backstage. Once he took a step back from wrestling, Triple H focused on different aspects of running the company. Now he is both loved by the wrestling world and hated by some. Many wrestlers on NXT and AEW have polar opposite opinions about the game. This is Wrestling Hub, and we're looking at what AEW wrestlers really think about Triple H. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. As one of the executive VPs of AEW, Cody Rhodes was one of the first who came up with All Elite Wrestling along with Tony Khan. He's been compared to Triple H as they share similar roles, though Cody had a lot of time to learn from Triple H when they shared a locker room. The two are expected to be hated rivals, but in reality Cody admires him. So I don't know if I should share this, but at some point it's going to come off my chest. Triple H is probably my favorite wrestler and was a role model. I only watched him from a distance, but he reminded me a lot of my dad in the sense that I watched him do all the work, be this executive, and then go out there, and he was only part-time for the most part other than when I first started and had that run with him and Teddy and Sean. He would go on to talk about how Triple H was always well disciplined. Cody said he was someone who was serious but was always ready to joke around. Matt Hardy and Triple H were certainly not strangers to each other, sharing the stage in WWE for well over a decade. However, Hardy's creative process was not respected by WWE. He made the shift to AEW, where he has been an integral part of the company. Hardy opened up on Triple H, saying he was one of the key players in his return to WWE. Once we got that call, I spoke with Michael Hayes, who has been a huge influence in the career of myself and my brother. So we spoke with him initially, and then I pretty much dealt one-on-one with Triple H the whole while dealing with the process of coming back to the company. And I can't say enough good things about Triple H and how amazing he was to work with then, and how great he has been since then. Being there, just working with him back and forth, he's been an amazing advocate for me. If there is something I need, some help, or I need to make a tweak in something, he's been there. Just so successful and so great on so many levels. I can't say enough good things about Triple H and his help since we've returned. On Talk Is Jericho, Hardy revealed if Triple H was running WWE, it would have been a far better place to work. One of the first major signings for AEW, Chris Jericho, is very familiar with Triple H. The two wrestled and had rivalries, which translated to real-life heat. Still, Chris revealed the two had buried the hatchet in recent years. I think there were guys in the past that I had issues with. I mean, Triple H is one of them. He'll tell you the same. In the early 2000s, we didn't have much likeness for each other, but we always had great matches, and I think that's one of the reasons why. We just had this professional rivalry, maybe a bit of a personal dislike. But fast forward 5, 6, 7 years, you get to be older and wiser and think back. Why did we have so many problems? Why did we hate each other? Why didn't we like each other? And now we're friends. Miro had the experience of working in WWE with some of the biggest names. Talking about this, he had this to say about Triple H. But I just have so much respect for these guys, man. Even Triple H. When he was backstage, I was kind of keeping my distance because these guys were so high for me, man. They were just like these unreachable gods. The wrestler had a lot of respect for Triple H, and although he never reached his potential in WWE, a feud between these two would have been something. Malachi Black is one of the latest of many released by WWE to join AEW. Black was always seen as having a ton of potential on NXT. On the main roster, it was clear Vince McMahon had no idea how to use him. While Black is in AEW, he looks back fondly on Triple H. Zelina Vega, Black's wife, shared how Triple H reacted positively, which reveals what he thought of the two of them. There were a few people that we had to tell, obviously like this person didn't do it, but we were excited to tell like Triple H and Stephanie because they're like we look to them as parents. I remember when I first told Hunter, he was like, wait, you guys are together? I was like, yeah, we're getting married. He was like, wait, so you and Andrade? He was so confused. I was like, no, that's just the storyline. He said, well, you fooled me. My babies are getting married. This is so cool. He was so happy and so supportive. Black also talked about Triple H and said he believed in him fully. The good thing about what Hunter did, or as I call him, boss, he believed in me and he never tried to change me. He told me, I signed you for you. Don't be something you're not. Never forget that. He said Triple H had a vision over what he wanted with his team and communicated communicated with everyone. Hopefully Black and Triple H will get to work together again in the future. CM Punk and Triple H's hate for each other is well noted. Punk loathed working with Triple H and had a lot of things to say about him when he left the company. Before he joined AEW, Punk was talking about going back to WWE. And unfortunately, ironically enough, for me to go back to WWE, who's the biggest match for me? It's probably Triple H. That's ironic because it's nothing I'm interested in. It's just what it is. Am I going to be a businessman and say that the match, that's the big money match? Well, it's not my money, so it's not for me to say. The two still don't like each other, but there appears to be a level of respect between them. Even though the Young Bucks became popular on the independent circuit, there was a time they appeared on WWE TV in 2008. Matt Jackson wrestled in 2 matches during that year against Big Show and Chuck Palumbo. He, along with his brother Nick, were also made to dress up as DX for the Dirt Sheet show on ECW. WWE were not signed up to permanent contracts despite them trying out for the company again in 2011. Matt talked about how Triple H offered the Bucks a deal. He was great, charming dude. He said all the right things. I don't know how many times I told him no. We must have declined the offer. In the end, I don't want to exaggerate, it had to have been at least 4 or 5 times, and by the end of every conversation he would have another call scheduled with me in 2 weeks, and I would go, how did he do that? What, I just told him no. We'd be laughing by the end of the conversation. The conversation would start with me saying, we're so sorry, we're going to pass on this, thank you so much, and an hour later I'm talking about our next phone call in 2 weeks. He's a magician, and no wonder he has the job he has, because he's a charming guy, and he'll charm your socks off. Jon Moxley and Triple H have wrestled and worked together backstage. Moxley was a key figure in WWE as a part of the Shield, but frustrated with how things were going backstage in the company, he decided to leave for AEW. Renee Paquette, his wife, revealed what the interactions between Triple H and Moxley were like behind the scenes. Even when Jon left, there were times that Hunter pulled me aside because Jon was injured when he came back from New Japan. Hunter kept checking in to make sure that Jon was okay. If he needed anything, they would have been able to help him in any kind of capacity. Andrade was let go from WWE after requesting his release. Talking about his last days in the company, Andrade revealed he spoke to Triple H about going back to NXT, but he turned it down. He then told me, how about a run on NXT? I told him that I wanted an opportunity on SmackDown or Raw. I didn't want to be someone who stayed in the back complaining, but complaining among the wrestlers. I don't want to complain to the wrestlers, but talk to the office and say I want an opportunity. I don't want to be 4 or 5 years doing nothing and just receiving a check. I was asked for maybe a year on NXT, then return to the main roster and see how things change. Triple H even offered more money to return to NXT. Andrade also thanked Triple H, Paul Heyman, and William Regal for the years of support. If there's one AEW star that knows Triple H well, that's Adam Cole. Cole had a fantastic career in NXT before he let his contract expire and moved to AEW. On Busted Open Radio, Cole touched on his amazing experiences in WWE and talked about how he loved working with Triple H. I'm so thankful for those 4 years. Again, when I was 9 years old, my dream was to work for WWE, and I got to do that for 4 years. I had so many amazing experiences, I got to work alongside Shawn Michaels for 4 years, and develop a wonderful relationship with him. I mean, that was one of the absolute highlights of my time there. Again, Triple H was wonderful. That locker room was wonderful. So there's not even a small part of me that was angry or upset in any way with WWE. I had a really wonderful time, and it wouldn't have changed it for the world. Cole revealed that even when he was leaving WWE, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were understanding, and said there was a bond between them. Even though Justin Roberts is not a wrestler, his ring announcing has become an important part of AEW. The announcer didn't really enjoy working with Triple H and WWE and said it was only Triple H's favorites who got treated well in the ring. Hunter started squashing stuff that really started getting over. If you notice, it's all about the future, and the future is NXT, but focusing on the future shouldn't mean ignoring the present. Zack Ryder got over huge to the point where the crowd was cheering for him at Madison Square Garden while The Rock was standing in the ring. Dolph Ziggler got over. Primo and Epico are fantastic wrestlers, but they get lost in the shuffle. There is a glass ceiling, and anybody they don't want to get over is squashed despite the fans strongly getting behind them. There was a time when Kenny Omega could have been a part of WWE, but he turned them down. Omega had once previously worked for WWE towards the beginning of his career, but his tryout had not gone well, with him getting a bad experience working with Bill DeMott and Jody Hamilton, as well as Hardcore Holly. Since then, he has received offers to join WWE, which he's turned down. One of the offers came from Triple H before he joined AEW. Omega said he believed that at his core, Triple H was a wrestler, and that allowed him to connect with other stars. I think Triple H is still being one of the boys for the better part of his career. I'm sure a big part of how he runs his business and how he looks at WWE, NXT, and all those things he has a finger in. I really do think he does it for the sake of fans as well. Omega ended up joining AEW with his friends, but he said he enjoyed his interaction with Triple H, saying it felt like Hunter understood his vision of trying to unite the world of wrestling. And this is what AEW wrestlers really think about Triple H. Hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.